I thought it would be a great idea to start off with a nice simple program, and in this case I'm going to refer to three contacts in series with each other, and we're going to do this in a language called ladder. Now I'm only going to show you how to set up the simulator once, because it becomes the same old thing as we move through the series. My very first step is to say File New, and then I will take a standard project. And the next step after that is going to ask, would you like to save the changes? No, I don't want to. I want to start a brand new project. And it may say to me, the project has not been saved. Do you want to delete it? Yes, I do. I don't want to have anything with that project. And then here is the next important question, where it's going to ask us in what language would we like to program. And you will see that this particular programming tool has got a number of different languages that we can use. I'm just going to go for the standard ladder logic diagram and press OK. And that would get us where we are now, ready to start programming the device. It takes a couple of seconds and everything that appears on the screen. I'm going to go straight into the PLC program and click on the PLC program at the top left hand side, because what I would like to go and do now is just set up a couple of variables that I can use in my program. I will be using 3 switches and 1 light, and so I can go in and say switch underscore A, if I can just get my spelling right, switch underscore A, full colon is going to be a boolean, semicolon, and that's my first variable. Let's go and put in the next ones. Switch B, which would be a boolean, and switch C, which is going to be a boolean. And last but not least, I need to go and put in light 1, which is also going to be a boolean, and those will be the 4 that I'm going to use. Please remember that when we draw electrical circuits, they are usually drawn from the top to the bottom with the highest voltage at the top. So in this case, we may have plus VCC, and that could be 24 volts, that could be 110, that could be 220. I'm going to go through a switch to a second switch and to a third switch, and that is going to switch on a light for me. So nice simple circuit. At the bottom we're going to have 0 volts. That's going to be switch A, that will be switch B, that will be switch C, and that's going to be light 1. Now, when we want to take a circuit and put it into ladder, what we'll usually do is you'll take that circuit in front of us and rotate it 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So I'm going to try and do that as an example. So there I have the circuit in front of me on a brand new page, and if you can imagine that I'm going to right click and say rotate, and I want to rotate it left 90 degrees so that the image looks something like this. That is now getting us well on our way. I just want to make it smaller, and that is now smaller, and this is what we're going to aim towards to put up our PLC program. So the PLC program is going to have a left rail and it's going to have a right rail. The left rail is going to represent the positive voltage that you can see on the left hand side. The right rail is going to represent the 0 volts. And then I just go and put in context for what we have. There you can see that my 3 switches are in series. So there's going to be switch number 1, and I just draw in context, switch number 2 or switch B, and switch number 3 or switch C, and then we're going to go to a coil. PLC programs are made up of contacts and coils. So that's going to become switch A, that's going to become switch B, that will be switch C, and that's going to be light 1. And that becomes the PLC program. So without much further ado, let's quickly go and program it. Starting in the yellow area, I'm just going to left click and I'm going to go and insert a contact. And then at the end, I'm going to put in a second contact. And there will be a third contact. And last but not least, we're going to put in our coil on the right hand side. Now I have already got my variables at the top, so I'm just going to go and link them, clicking on the question mark at the left-hand side. Let's go and say that the first one is associated with switch A, and we can press OK. The second one is going to be associated with switch B, and we can press OK. Third one is going to be associated with switch C. We can press OK. And right at the end, the contact is going to be associated with light 1. And that can now be finished off. And in the center of the screen, you can see the program that we have gone and written. This particular piece of software known as CodeSys does allow us to do a simulation. So I'm going to go left click on the word application at the top, right click and add an object. And second last from the bottom, I'm going to go and put in visualization. And this is going to allow the system to create a screen for me where I can go and simulate everything that I have got on the screen. In my case, I'm going to create a screen for 3 switches and 1 light, and that would do it. And so that is exactly where we are sitting right now. If you look on the right-hand side, you can see that there is something to do with the visualization stimulation. Just to get everything nicely displayed, I'm going to click on the visualization at the top there, that tab, right click and say new vertical tab group. And now I've got everything displayed at the same time. I've got my variables, I happen to have my PLC program, and I'm going to have an area where I can build up my simulator. I'm going to start off with the simulator area. At the bottom right, I'll just go and grab a rotary switch, and I'm going to drag it in. And I want to go and get another 2 of those. So I'm going to drag in a second rotary switch, and I will drag in a third rotary switch. And somewhere amongst that lot, we need to go and put in a lamp. Those are going to be my 3 switches, and I have gone and put in a lamp just to make it nice and visible for our test work. Using your shift button, you can go and select the 3 switches and right click and have a look for alignment, and maybe go and say align at the bottom. That's just going to tidy it up. And if you wish to, you can go and put in text blocks as well. To find the text blocks, you'd have to go and have a look on the right hand side, and quite possibly under one of the symbols that we have there, such as common controls, you are going to find the labels. I'm going to go and drag in a label and put it on the left hand side, and maybe just go and edit that and make that switch A underscore A, and that would be it. Now there's nothing stopping me from just realigning it, making it nice and neat, copying it. Let's go and copy it, paste one maybe down to the right hand side. Let's go and see if I do that. Why can't I copy it there? Control copy paste, that's better. Take that and put it under the next switch, and maybe under the next switch, and maybe one under the light. Entirely up to you to what level you would like to go and tidy up your circuit. Then it's just a case of tidying them up. I'm just going to go with the shift button, and maybe those can all be right click and aligned at the top, and we can just go and edit them. There's one too many that we can take away and change that to switch B. Great, and that one is going to get changed to switch C, and the one too many was the extra one at the bottom that I somehow seem to have gone and lost. And we can just go and copy that quickly and put one down at the bottom for the light, and that'll be it. That's going to be, so it's going to put that in as light 1. And that should be everything that we need to go and test this circuit. Very next step is just to take all of the images that we have put under our visualization and link to them to the respective tags. I'm going to go to the very first switch on the right hand side where it says variable. I'm going to go and double click, open up the application, open up the PLC, make it bigger, and I'm going to link that to switch A and say OK. And I'm going to go and do exactly the same with the next 3 items. Go and link that to switch number B and say OK. Take that one and go and link it to switch C and say OK. And then the very last one, we can just go and link that to the light, and that's also going to be okay. And in this case, it's going to be a yellow light. You can see that at the bottom right hand side. We now need to go and test our program. Always a good idea to go to the top there where those little eyes seem to come up, and press that button, and that will go ahead and test your software and see if there aren't any glaring errors that we might have. I don't see any glaring errors. Next, I'm going to go to online and just select simulation so that we can go and simulate this program of ours. Fine. Now remember that the program has been written on the laptop. So I'm going to go to that button at the top and press that login button, which is going to take my program, put it into machine code and send it across to the PLC. So that's exactly what we are doing now. And if there were going to be any errors, it would have shown me the errors straight up front. Great. Now the last thing is to go and simulate this. So I'm going to take my mouse pointer up to the play button at the top and press that play button. And now we are ready to go and simulate this. If you look at the program on the left-hand side, all of the switches are off. If I was to go and activate switch A, you're going to see that it allows the signal to go through, but this is an AND gate. Switch A and B and C must be present before we're going to switch on light 1. So that's not going to do anything. I can on its own go and switch on switch number B, and it's not going to do anything. On its own, go and switch on switch number C, and it's not going to do anything. But if I switch on switch A and switch B and switch C, you can now see that the light is going to go on. So contacts in series, we're often going to refer to as an AND gate. A and B and C in this case is going to give us the value. In any of the switches that get switched off, the circuit immediately is not going to give us an output. So that was my very first demonstration of taking contacts and putting them in series with each other. I'm not going to do the whole building regime for the videos after this. It's always going to be exactly the same. You've seen how to do that, so pretty straightforward. When we finish, press the stop button at the top, and that will take us out of the simulation, and then we can actually go and log out. And now you can start off and change your program or do a new program, do anything that you want to. It's going to be perfect. And that was our first excursion into ladder logic programs. And we created a simple circuit that had 3 switches in series with each other, and every one of the switches had to be present in order to switch on the output.